Jana Duggar and Wissmann finally officially divorced. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The news broke like a tidal wave across Duggar fan circles. Jana Duggar and Wissmann had announced their divorce, sending shockwaves through the conservative Christian world that had once held them up as the epitome of courtship success and family values. For years, Jana had been known as the Cinderella Duggar, the eldest Duggar daughter who remained unmarried well into her 30s. While her younger sisters married off one by one and began their own large families, Jana stayed home. She was seen as the quiet helper, the one who took care of the younger kids, the garden, the laundry, and the household behind the scenes. Fans speculated endlessly. Was she single by choice? Was Jim Bob Duggar, the strict patriarch, denying her suitors? Or was she simply waiting for the right man? Then came Wissmann, the fairy tale beginning. Wissmann, the handsome, soft-spoken pilot from Nebraska, seemed like the answer to every Duggar fan's prayer for Jana. He was the second eldest son of the Wissmann family, who were also known for their musical talents and large, devout Christian family. In late 2020, rumors started swirling that Jana and Steven had been quietly courting. Despite the Duggar family's typical pattern of public courtship announcements and chaperone dates, this one seemed different. Quiet. Almost secretive. By 2022, photos surfaced of Jana attending Wissmann family events, visiting Nebraska, and even sitting beside Steven at weddings and church services. Duggar watchers were convinced this was it. Jana was finally in love, and in a surprise turn, the couple married in a private ceremony in early 2023, far from the media spotlight. The Duggar social media channels barely acknowledged it. A small photo here. Quiet congratulations there. The Duggars, known for turning weddings into televised spectacles, had seemingly chosen silence. Life after I do. For fans, the marriage was proof that love had finally come to Jana Duggar. First, things seemed perfect. The couple settled in Lincoln, Nebraska, close to Steven's family. Jana occasionally posted beautiful, minimalistic photos of her garden, their cozy home, and Bible verses about patience and love. Steven, ever the private one, stayed off social media almost entirely, but under the surface, cracks had already begun to form. A life of silence. Jana always wanted her voice to be heard, said a close friend of the Duggar family, speaking under anonymity. She was tired of being in the background. After years of living under Jim Bob's rules, she thought marriage would bring her freedom. But instead, she just found herself under new expectations, this time from a husband who in many ways was just as strict. Steven, a devout and reserved man, had clear ideas about a wife's role, ideas deeply rooted in the same traditionalism that shaped both their upbringings. But Jana had changed. Over the years, she had read more, traveled more, and quietly developed a longing for independence. She didn't want to be a rebel, but she didn't want to be invisible either. She thought marriage would be a partnership, the friend continued. But Steven wanted a helpmeet, someone quiet, obedient, and domestic. And Jana was more than that. Whispers of trouble. By late 2023, Jana had stopped posting on social media altogether. Duggar fans noticed that she was missing from family photos during holidays, and when she did appear, she looked thin, withdrawn, and subdued. Meanwhile, Steven had begun spending more time flying charter planes, often away from home for days at a time. A source close to the Wissmann family described it this way: they were both good people, but they just didn't fit. Jana had so much pent-up frustration, not just from her marriage, but from her whole life of being told to sit down, be quiet, and serve. She married thinking she'd escape that. But it just followed her. Then, in April 2025, the rumors exploded. The announcement on July 15, 2025, both Jana and Steven released identical, simple statements via Instagram. After much prayer and counsel, we have made the difficult decision to end our marriage. We ask for privacy and kindness as we move forward separately. We are thankful for the time we shared and the lessons we've learned. Jana and Steven, no drama. No finger-pointing. No detailed explanation, but the silence spoke volumes. For a family that had once broadcast every courtship and milestone to the world, this kind of subtle, quiet conclusion was almost unthinkable. Behind closed doors, several sources came forward after the announcement, offering glimpses into what really happened during the 18-month marriage. Jana had reportedly struggled with depression and anxiety, feelings she had long repressed in the high-pressure Duggar world where everything had to look perfect. Marriage, instead of healing her, had amplified those emotions. She felt trapped, said a former church counselor who had met with the couple. She tried counseling, she prayed constantly, but nothing changed. Eventually, she realized that God wasn't calling her to suffer in silence. He was calling her to live in truth. Stephen, too, had his struggles. Raised in a similarly conservative culture, he was unequipped to deal with a wife who wanted emotional depth, personal growth, and mutual leadership. He wasn't abusive or cruel, just unwilling to grow in the ways Jana needed. Stephen's idea of love was protection and provision, said a source close to him. But Jana wanted connection and purpose. That gap only widened with time. Jim Bob's reaction back in Arkansas. The news of the divorce reportedly hit the Duggar patriarch hard. Divorce is seen as an ultimate failure in their world, said one former family friend. Jim Bob was furious not just at Stephen but at Jana. He felt she had dishonored the family. He didn't understand why she couldn't just stick it out. Jana, however, had made peace with her decision. In a private message to a close friend that was later leaked to tabloids, she reportedly wrote, "I've spent my whole life trying to meet everyone else's expectations. I tried to be the perfect daughter, sister, and wife. But I lost myself. I'm not walking away because I failed, I'm walking away because I finally found my voice." The public reacts. The internet exploded with reactions. Duggar fans and critics alike were divided. Some offered support. Jana deserves happiness. She waited so long to get married, it's heartbreaking that it didn't work, but I'm proud of her for choosing herself. Others criticized. Marriage is for life. She should have stuck it out. What kind of example is this for young women? Yet most were simply stunned. The perfect daughter of the Duggar dynasty had not only married late, but divorced early. It was a seismic cultural moment in the evangelical sphere, a sign that even the most rule-abiding could no longer live under those rules. Life after divorce. In the weeks after the announcement, Jana was seen in northwest Arkansas without a ring, but with a peaceful look on her face. She has since moved into a small rental home, no longer living at the Duggar compound. She reportedly attends a local non-denominational church known for its support of women and mental health, though she has yet to return to social media in full. One cryptic Instagram story posted days after the divorce said simply, "Healing is holy. And I'm finally learning how to breathe." She has also been spotted volunteering at a women's shelter, mentoring young women who feel trapped in cycles of silence, guilt, and performance, a cause that now feels deeply personal. A symbol of change. Jana Duggar's divorce may seem like a tabloid headline, but to many it represents something much bigger. It's a story of a woman raised in a world of patriarchal control, who finally quietly, courageously chose freedom over fear. It's a reminder that healing isn't always loud. That bravery sometimes looks like walking away from something everyone else thought was perfect, and while the Duggar empire may never acknowledge the lessons in Jana's journey, the world is watching and learning. Jinger Duggar reveals mom Michelle's strange parenting methods while looking back at the family's first TV special. It's been a long time since the Duggar family was part of a TLC reality show, but it seems like at least one of them is friends with someone who is. In an Instagram photo dump that Jinger Duggar shared over the weekend, she quietly revealed that she spent time with Welcome to Plathville star Lydia Plath, something that has definitely thrown fans for a loop. Jinger's followers recognized someone familiar in her post. Hidden among the photos that Jinger shared from her weekend are a few snaps that include Lydia and her husband, Zach Wise. In one of them, Jinger is posing for a selfie with Lydia and a couple of other women while out in Los Angeles together. It didn't take long before fans started leaving comments asking if that was Lydia Plath in the pictures, to which Jinger responded yes. Lydia also shared a photo on her own Instagram stories. Lydia shared the post on her Instagram stories, showing a photo of her and Zach sitting together on the couch in Jinger's house, holding her baby boy, Finn, who arrived at the end of March. No word on why Lydia and Zach were in LA or how she and Jinger ended up becoming friends, but it is sweet to see them enjoying time together. Thrall, can anyone understand what it's like to be on a TLC reality show other than another TLC reality star? Fans were happy to see Lydia and Jinger together. In the comments, fans shared just how much they were loving this counting on /Welcome to Plathville crossover, all a visit from Lydia and her new husband. One person wrote, Another commenter added, "Oh, I love to see that you are friends with Lydia." Others speculated that Lydia and Zach may have visited to be guests on Jinger and Jeremy's podcast, but nothing has been announced just yet. The Duggars and the Plaths had similar upbringings. In the past, Olivia Plath has confirmed that her family and the Plath family grew up in the world of the IBLP, the Institute in Basic Life Principles, just like the Duggars did, having experienced similar restrictive childhoods and now growing up to forge their own paths. It seems like Lydia and Jinger likely have plenty to talk about on a podcast or off. With more than 20 years of reality TV experience under their belts, most of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's children ended up growing up on camera, but there's still so much fans never got to see that went on behind the scenes. Jinger Duggar is now opening up about the unusual ways her parents managed to keep so many young children on their best behavior. And although some methods are stranger than others, some actually do make a lot of sense, even for smaller families. Jinger looked back on the Duggars' first TV special. Originally airing on Discovery Health in 2004, 14 Children and Pregnant Again first introduced the Duggar family to audiences. On this week's episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, Jinger looked back at scenes from the special and ended up sharing a lot of interesting details from her childhood. In the process, they had to follow Cotto, as most of us can probably imagine. Wrangling that many little kids while out in public has to be a challenge, but Jinger said Michelle and Jim Bob had it down to a method called Cotto. They'd say, "Cotto," and we'd hop in line in birth order, youngest in the front, oldest in the back, and we would walk around like that. Like a pack of ducks, she said on the podcast. Otherwise, everybody is spread out. You know how hard it is to keep the little two that are walking in our family around, because they'll see a fountain and they'll be like, "Let's go splash in the fountain." There was a very specific procedure when it came to loading into the car. Jinger Duggar brings new baby home to Arkansas to meet the whole Duggar family. Are Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo teasing a move back to Arkansas? According to a recent Instagram story, they might be considering it. Couple and their 3 kids are visiting Michelle and Jim Bob at the big house so their new son, Finn, can meet the rest of the Duggar family. While their Jinger and Jeremy had to fill up their car with gas and were stunned by how inexpensive it was compared to Southern California, where they live now. When Jeremy told Jinger to look at the price, she remarked, "What in the world? Should we move back?" Despite her musings, it seems unlikely Jinger and Jeremy will move back to Arkansas anytime soon. In August 2024, they purchased their home in Santa Clarita, California for just under $2 million. If Jinger's Instagram posts are any indication, they've been loving the house and their neighborhood. This is baby Finn's first time meeting most of the Duggars. Although he has met a few members of the giant family, Michelle was present at his birth, and Jessa, Jana, and John David recently visited California with their families. Most of the 19 Duggar siblings still live in Arkansas, near the big house in Tontatown. Jill, Jinger, and Jana have ventured further away from home, so it's a big deal when they visit the family. Although Jinger has spoken out about the challenges of growing up as a Duggar primarily through her memoirs Becoming Free Indeed and People Pleaser, she's still close with her mom and many of her siblings. Although Jinger loves her family, it appears she and Jeremy are content living in California, but who knows? Before Jinger Duggar began wearing pants herself, she had a hard time seeing her friends make the switch. The Counting on Alum, 31, and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, were joined by her sister Joanna Duggar on the Wednesday, April 16th, episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast to discuss the Duggar family's headline-making modesty practices. Jinger and her siblings were raised in an ultra-conservative Christian household and followed strict rules, one of which included women and girls wearing skirts and dressing modestly. Vuolo, 37, pointed out that while the family's beliefs seemed like another world to those on the outside, many people in the Duggars community followed similar guidelines. For you to do anything other than that was like a bombshell, he said. Jinger agreed that it was so normal for her and her sisters and even their mom, Michelle Duggar, to dress modestly. You kind of start to not think twice about it until you are surrounded with other people who are conducting their lives differently. And then that's something where you start to think more about, okay, why do I do what I do? She added, every time a Duggar child broke their family rules,